welcome to the weekly review at Sean Rock. I am Sean Keaton Torres, and of course, I am joined along with.
And it's your boy Shark the Mike. Happy New Year, man. It's 2023. How we doing? Jordan year.
Man, yes, happy 2023. New Year to you. COVID's behind us. COVID's way behind us now.
I don't know.
Hey, COVID's behind us. Let's just keep it moving.
It's behind us, but his brother in front of us just waiting to get that revenge. Like, yo, I heard what y'all did to my younger brother, COVID.
Man, I mean, it's been a freaky end of the year. We Tampa here, we had our first major cold spell in December.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was crazy. Like
that was
20 degrees. 20 degrees here.
It was cold.
Yeah.
I was excited though, because I have some people from Michigan. I have some like winter gear that I haven't touched. They got dust on and stuff. I haven't touched since I was in Michigan. So I was excited. I was going a little overboard. Had the hat, gloves, winter jacket, boots, not snow pants, but you get my point, man.
I pulled out my overcoat. I haven't worn it since my days in actually, I bought it the year I retired out of the Army because Georgia gets cold.
Retirement gift. Bought a jacket.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Kors, nice one. And
okay.
Wore that year. Then I moved to Florida. I hadn't worn it again since.
Exactly.
And then but then it's like, shoot, I pulled the scarf out and everything. I was like, oh, it's too cold. Oh man, I had a scarf the whole night.
I've never worn a scarf. I just never have.
Trust me. Hey, you from the north? You know what those scarves do. That little coat on the top part of the neck where the coat doesn't quite reach.
That sensitive area.
Yeah,
it's true.
That scarf covers
that. Scarf is like a sock for your neck, pretty much.
Exactly. That's all it is. That's all it is. That is it.
But the funny part is, it was just cold for like 3 days. And that was it.
Yeah. Oh no. About 4 days. 4 days. I mean, but see, the thing though is, like me, I didn't have any heat in my house, so that was a rough 4 days for me. Yeah.
Put you out there with some sticks and just making it fire.
And to make it so bad, right? So I just had my unit service, the winter service, like just in November was serviced. And I'm not testing heat then because it was too hot. I'm thinking, January, this is the time we normally get out little 2 weeks of winter. And I'm like, okay, cool. I want to cut my heat on. And I'm like, okay, we're not getting warmer here. What? There's something going on.
Blowing on your hands,
man. I ain't gonna lie. I had to come to my office because my office is the hottest room. It's normally it's the coldest room of the house, but with all the electronics and stuff in here, it is now the hottest room of the house.
It's not hot because of heat. It's hot because of power up sucker.
Yeah, hey, exactly. I mean, between the TV and the computer, man, I cut this joker up warm. Real warm, because I was like, yeah, cut everything on. I came close, came pretty close, but I have a pretty heavy blanket on my bed. So
that's some good advice. I'm gonna give some of my friends up north, like, listen, man, if the heat go out, just turn on the TVs on. Like, hey,
turn TV,
turn the TV on.
Yeah, man, shoot, them TVs put out some heat.
All right, fair enough. But anyway, we got it's a new year. What are we starting off with for 2023?
So for the new year, we're gonna start off talking about something that was released at the end of last year, which would be Avatar: The Way of the Water. Then it was just released. We have seen it. We're gonna come with little reviews with hopefully no spoilers. We're gonna try to avoid any spoilers here. And we're also gonna talk about what's big in the NFL, actually in just the sports community as a whole right now. Damar Hamlin, what's happened to him, and if and how rare this is. And finally, we're gonna talk about
Chatgpt.
There we go. Hey, I already screwed it up enough times in the pre, so I already know I was going to screw it up now. So I want to make sure that you said it right. So we're going to talk about that, and then, of course, we're going to come back with a new What the Florida to start off your new year. Perfect. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into Avatar: The Way of the Water.
Way of the Water.
You say you saw it a couple days ago?
I seen it last night, and I finished it this morning. Just to give you an idea of how long this movie is. You may have. When did you see it?
I saw it just a couple of days ago. When was it? He left on Monday, so it was Sunday night when I saw it.
Sunday night. So, give me. What do you think? What do you think of it? I mean, it's hyped up. Avatar was a huge movie when the first one came out. I don't know, like 10, 15 years ago. It was a while ago. Obviously, the director James Cameron is very talented. Some of the CGI is just out of this world. But in your opinion, you've seen both. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, in my opinion, I thought it was really good. I thought it did a great job explaining a lot of things that were not said in the first one. You know,
Uh-huh.
a lot of questions that needed answers. You know, they were able to answer some of those and still leave you with a lot more questions too about like
Okay.
how weird is this going to get. Um, it wasn't as groundbreaking as the first one,
No.
but visually, it was amazing. Visually, it was still it visually was
Beautiful.
just amazing. The change of scenery that they did was definitely needed, and it wasn't just let's just change scenery. No, they did it in the right way. So yeah,
Right.
I think they did a good job. But that being said, and we'll get further into this more. I see some similarities, and we talk about this, but I see some similarities between Avatar, The Way of the Water. Well, this is let's say Avatar, the movie, and Avatar, The Last Airbender, the series. And I do see some similarities in
Like
this
some lawsuits.
folklore thing. So I mean, that's my opinion. We'll get more into it. What did you think?
You know, I thought it was good. I went with Paige, with the girlfriend, and she thought it was the best movie she ever seen for some reason. She was crying and shit. I was like, whoa, you know these are not real people, and this is majority CGI. This is a place, and that nothing in this is real at all. You
Hey,
know?
what was Zoe Saldana when she in it?
Yeah, she was she
yeah,
kills it. She
yeah,
kills it. But that just goes to show you the scope of like how good the movie. I mean, it was a great movie. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't the best thing I've ever seen, but you know, it was
really
damn
good.
good. The fact that sitting next to me, she's crying over a film based off of something that is not even real. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, think about being a director or producer to where like you create a story and you portray it so well, and regardless if it's real or not, well, would you say because it's not real, that
Yeah.
you still can have an emotional response from the audience, given the fact that it's absurdly too long. 3 hours is just, I mean, I can't even do something fun for 3 hours, let alone watch a movie.
It was way too long. It was way too long. Okay, I can't say it was too long, but it was.
They should have had a break.
Yeah,
they should have had a break, like a intermission, just like
intermission.
Remember when some of our younger viewers may not even have seen this, but when Titanic came out on VHS, you got two.
Didn't James Cameron do Titanic? I think James Cameron did Titanic.
I think that was Steven Spielberg. I don't know, one of the two. But you got when you got the VHS, you got two tapes because the movie it was James Cameron. Okay, well you got two tapes because the movie was so long. You finish the first half and then they'd be like insert the second part. I'm like, whoa, there's more to this movie. Like, oh my god,
yeah, I remember
this trip. Like it made you feel like you was actually on a Titanic for like the length of the trip. Like, damn, we still on this boat.
Well, see, I mean, remember that the Titanic was released. It was released on VHS, right?
Right.
So those two tapes.
Rest in peace, VHS.
Yeah, those two tapes, that box that you got. I mean, that box was like this big.
It's like a Bible.
You know,
yeah, it was thick.
He's like, oh, and you're not used to it. He's like, oh, wait.
Yeah, and God forbid you rent it from Blockbuster and have to rewind it to the beginning. Remember, you get charged a fee if you didn't rewind it to the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my god, you sitting for 3 hours rewinding that movie.
I think that's when Be Kind Rewind went out the window. I was like, I ain't worried about this. I'm not gonna take 10 minutes out my day to rewind this joke.
I'm restarting it.
It's going. Well, no, I think James Cameron has a tendency to pull movies like that. I mean, there's long movies, along those lines. But he goes for the heartstrings. That's what he goes for. The first Avatar, he goes for the heartstrings. Titanic.
Yep.
Yeah. What was it? What was his name? Jack or something? I'll love you, Jack. Whatever.
Jack. And I don't know his last name, but Leonardo DiCaprio's character who shouldn't have died at the end. She had plenty of room on that little plank or piece of wood or door, whatever she was floating on. That's typical. No, I'm sorry, Jack. There's not enough room in this king size door for you. Oh, come on, baby, damn.
Well, we get back to Avatar. But before we get back to Avatar, apparently they actually commissioned people to prove that if they both would have been on that bedpost thing, whatever, they both would have died.
They both would have died.
Yeah, he actually commissioned people to prove it. I'm like, it's a movie. You really didn't have to go that far.
Yeah.
You really did. I mean, just let the people talk. But
What if she would have said that?
what
Like,
it is.
well, Jack, if you get on, we both gonna die. And
Yeah,
I
I
got
know,
this
right?
diamond ring that I got upon, and I mean, somebody got to do it.
Hey, I got to get mine.
Exactly.
But no, but back to the Avatar. I mean, so we talk about a little. There's some similarities, right?
Right.
To me, I kind of see that last Airbender because at first, when the first movie, the first Avatar, and when the guy brings the tribes together, you know, and you see them
Right.
flying across this planet, and they go to like the forest. Well, they were the forest ones, but they go to like the water, get the water ones, and they go to like the volcano and get some volcano ones,
fire ones. Yep.
Yeah, you know, and I don't remember the third set, and I'll have to go back and watch the movie again, which I probably should have. Well, I know it's air for
air,
Avatar,
water, fire, and earth.
Well, that's for Last Airbender. I'm trying to remember when they were collecting all the tribes, like what ones they went to. I know they went to volcano and to the water, but I can't remember the other two tribes they went to. But they did go to other tribes, so I can't remember what they represented. But I see it's like, okay, that's the water tribe. That was the forest tribe. I see the forest tribe as being basically the earth tribe from Avatar.
Right.
You know?
So I mean, we technically the forest tribe, right? I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
We forest. I don't know.
You know, and then so tribe. Now you have, you know, the volcano tribe. When they went and got them out of the volcano, that's fire right there. So I'm like,
right. I don't know why they didn't mess with them. I just like, you know, we should hop over the fire. They tend to burn. They tend to ruin.
Yeah, they a little out there. They're a little out there. Yeah. They're a little out there. But I like how he put like evolution into it. Like, okay, this tribe has to be this way because of evolution, because that's what their bodies fit. This
exactly their environment.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice little touch, you know, and that thing.
Did you? We saw it in Dolby Digital.
Yeah.
At the AMC, the AMC West Shore over here in Tampa, or over West Shore, and man, I know there's Dolby Digital, and then I think the other one is
you have Dolby Digital, Dolby Atmos, Dolby.
What's their competitor there though for like
I think we should be THQ or THC or something like that.
It's the audio. Well, either way, the Dolby sound was just phenomenal. I mean, the whole theater felt like it was shaking. Things on the left side of the screen would come into your left ear. Things on the right side of the screen come to your right ear. The quality. I mean, we had went to Cinebistro over in Hyde Park to see a couple movies. Seeing Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness and some other movie I forgot. But obviously, Cinebistro, the whole lure is you get kind of like a restaurant type service. They bring you food, you get drinks. It's not a lot of people. It's comfy. You got to get your tickets ahead of time, so on and so forth.
It's a one-stop date in one.
Right. However, the quality of the actual screen and the sound was just so piss poor to where it was just like it almost made, like, first of all, the movie that we seen, the Doctor Strange, into the
Multiverse
of Madness. Yeah. To me, it wasn't that good, but given the fact that the theater's, quality as far as the movie wasn't good either, made it seem even worse. Like, I probably have a different opinion if I saw it at a better theater. But it's just, a lot of the past couple of years with COVID, a lot of us, these big movie companies and studios have been, or even like a Netflix, right? They've been showing these movies that could easily be on a big screen that you can stream at home, which is great. Which is
what has killed theaters, but I mean, it is what it is.
But after seeing Avatar last night and seeing how the theater, the way you watch it, and I know this movie is all CGI, so that plays a big role. And you can see it in 3D, which should have been the choice. But then again, I'm not wearing 3D glasses for 3 hours. That is it's such a difference. Like, if I watched Avatar on Netflix, I probably would have a way different opinion.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the visuals were A+, 100%, amazing. Now, I don't think those same visuals would have the same impact if I'm watching it at home on a TV.
You don't think so?
No, not at all. It was night and day. You could tell.
Now, so I'm one of those guys. I mean, all right, I'm one of those guys who always want the home theater experience at home, the theater experience at home.
At home,
Yeah.
okay.
So I would, make sure that I would purchase things to make that happen. So
Right.
my sound system it's for one, it's a Bose sound system, so it's up there.
Shout out to Bose. Was that a Bose plug?
Hey, shout out to Bose now. Hey, I'll take another sub any day. But but I'm just saying, so and that, and then of course with the 4K TV, I have a smart high-end 4K TV.
Right.
So those things help make the experience better. And during COVID, that was a savings grace. I mean, even before COVID, I wasn't like going to movies a lot, but I was still going to, I was going to movies. But COVID and after, I'm like, you know what? I spent all this to make sure I had this at home.
Right.
I go to the theater.
Did you call AMC? Like, hey man, I just want to know where you guys get your supplies from, because I'm trying to do what y'all doing, but at my house.
Well, see,
Maybe you can send a tech over or something.
I already knew enough people who worked in the theater industry, so I knew what they wanted. Yeah, I'm kidding. But no, I just you just play it loud. I mean, I'm sure my neighbors hate it sometimes if I watch a movie at 2:00 in the morning and I'm making sure it's movie theater sound, because I mean you walk.
Is your neighbors calling? Like, hey, Sean, is everything okay over there, man? We're hearing a lot of commotion and bombs going off and gunshots. Like, bro,
house is shaking.
The cops
why is your house shaking all the time?
Yeah, you better get swatted for a movie.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just one of those. I'm one of those people who think you should see certain movies in theaters, and this is one of those. But I don't think you're going to lose much once it hits
at home
streaming. Yeah, you're going to lose something. You're going to lose some, some of the audio and stuff like that. But I don't think you're going to lose what they're trying to portray. And
let me ask you this: do you think if this was 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, whatever, and Avatar so happened to be scheduled to come out in 2020, do you think they would have released it streaming, or they would have said, no, we're waiting until you can go to the movie theater?
They would have waited.
They would have waited, yeah.
They would have waited. Because, and there were a lot of good movies released to streaming that in 2020. Matrix.
That movie was ass. The third Matrix, the latest one?
It's the fourth. It's the fourth.
Oh,
but see, and that's the thing.
3.
And so then, and here's the thing. You say it's ass, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a movie they've been working on for years.
Waste of time.
Do you think it would have been different to go like what you said? Do you think it would have been different if you saw it in the theater?
Oh man,
with everything,
maybe it would have been a little better, but just the whole storyline was just like, what the hell is?
Well, yeah, the storyline. I'm storyline notwithstanding. I mean, the storyline they definitely could have.
I don't think it would have been as good, because I don't think it would have made a huge difference, because my expectations for that fourth Matrix were based off of the previous 3.
Yeah.
So regardless, I would have been like, "What? This doesn't make sense to me. This movie." You know what I mean? I probably would have been pissed that I paid $30 to go see this on a big screen, or however much it is these days.
I mean, it made sense. They just instead of giving us something new, they gave us literally what they gave us in the first 3, and that's why that was my downfall for the fourth Matrix.
All right,
was that you gave us the same thing, and that's not something that James Cameron, getting back to Avatar, has done here. He's literally given us something new. And he's promised us a slate of movies or surrounding this, to give us basically the Avatar universe.
All right, that's fair. So I guess my final question is: out of the past, I don't want to say this year because there hasn't been a lot of great movies out this year. Out of the past, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, or at least as far as back you can remember, where would you rank Avatar as far as like one of the best movies?
I don't know.
Is it up there? Is it top 5? Is it top 3?
I don't know. Marvel takes a lot of those top 5 spots.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I mean, you got Wakanda. You got
That's true.
You got Endgame. Endgame came out in the last 5 years.
Yep. That's true. Actually, yeah.
I mean that's a tough one.
I would say Avatar is a good movie for everybody.
It probably made the top 8. Avatar
top 8. Top 8.
Yeah, top 8. I say I gotta give myself a little room, because I mean Marvel pretty much takes the whole top 5 just about.
Yeah,
I mean, there's probably like 1 or 2, but that's top 5 pretty much Marvel.
All right.
And then you have those little, you have those little one-offs here and there. They're like, oh, that's a good movie. Why didn't I go see that when I was in theaters? Oh, wait, that's right. I was watching Marvel crap.
Right. Well, I would say it's definitely my top 10, and probably number 8 or 7. I can't think of movies off the top of my head that I think are better. And the only reason for that is just because of the visuals. I mean, that movie took forever to make. You can just tell it took forever to watch as well. But just the quality of, like I said, the visuals, the way the sound, it made you immersed to where like you literally felt like you were there, kind of.
All right,
To the bit. Go ahead.
My last question before we move on and talk about Mr. Damar. Do you think they should start adding? Think about like these movies. When I say this, you've got Endgame was a 3-hour movie.
Goddamn.
I think Matrix was not Matrix. There was another one that was a 3-hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a few 3-hour movies released. Then of course you have Lord of the Rings, you have Hobbit, and all those other ones. Do you think, thinking about all those, they should start bringing back intermission back to theaters? So they used to have it back in the day. These long 3-hour movies, they would actually have an intermission halfway through. 5 minutes. Stretch your legs a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think. I'm gonna say no, because the reason being,
do you not have to use that bathroom?
I do, but I feel like a lot of times, movies are getting better and better. The storytelling is getting better, and I think a lot of times if there's a break in that, you kind of lose that momentum. You know what I mean? It's like you take a break, you go out, you check your phone, and then now you're thinking about something else, and now you don't even remember what the first part of the movie was. You know what I mean? It's just like maybe they can like have like a quick 2-minute break where people come in like, hey, you guys want some popcorn, or like a service type of deal. That'd be great. But if you have to get up and like go, and it's not to the bathroom or to get to the concession stand, you just kind of just hanging out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what the intermission is for. Little 5-minute intermission, so you can go to the restroom or concession stand, so you don't miss. Because this is the first one I actually had to use the restroom for once in this one, really real quick. But I was just thinking, it's like, I'm wondering what I missed just in that little small moments when you use the restroom back. It wasn't very long, but it was long enough that I know there's something I missed.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But I just think it's just like nowadays, like if it's a big, movie premiere or a extremely hyped movie, like try to imagine like 80 people walking out to use a bathroom all at the same time. You know what I mean? That would take forever.
No, it would. Yeah, and that's why
kids crying, popcorn all over the floor.
Yeah. But hey, that's what they get paid to work at movie theaters and clean all that stuff up and keep these people moving.
Yeah, but I see some of the movie theater staff, and I just be like,
Oh, trust me, we all do that.
Smoking weed in there? Oh man, all right.
Or in the back parking lot.
Get next?
All right, let's move on to something a little more solemn. So we got a comedy in there a little bit. So now we're gonna talk about something a little more solemn here, and that's about how the NFL, not just the NFL, the sports world, and actually, it's all of us reacting to Damar Hamlin, watching him collapse at the 5 minute and 7 mark, 5 minutes and 7 seconds left in the game last night between the Bengals and the Bills.
Monday, right? Or was it Sunday? Sunday Night Football. Monday Night Football. I'm sorry.
Monday Night Football. Yeah, Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Thank you. We all saw him collapse, and we all waited that 9 minutes while they did CPR on him, and then that additional hour that it took the NFL to finally postpone the game.
Yeah.
And everyone had a lot to say about that, including ESPN commentator Booger McFarland, who was one of the first ones to say things about it. But with that being said, everyone kind of knows that piece of it. I'll let you go ahead and take this away.
Yeah, that was so I actually I didn't watch the game. Reason being is because
it's a playoff game.
This is a selfish reason because I play fantasy football. Thank God I won my championship, but it was championship weekend and I had already locked up my win Sunday night. So I only really watch to see if my players score points. So I didn't know what happened. I was watching something else, and I had seen a couple friends in the group chat, whatever, saying like, is he okay? Blah 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 blah. What are they talking about? So obviously, you go on Twitter or any type of sports website. They say Bills player collapses during the game, and at first you read something like that, you really don't. What do you mean collapses? Like he gets shot or something? You don't know because I didn't see it, so you don't know the context. And then on Twitter, there was a short video of the replay, and I saw it happen. And you never really think that. I mean, I've played football, played plenty of sports, and I've seen people get hurt all the time. You see some injuries look way worse than others. Some don't look that bad and have way worse consequences. But in the NFL, we've all seen, very gruesome and severe injuries. But usually, the player is responsive, or it's obviously broke a leg or an ankle or hand or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It's not, you can kind of diagnose it immediately. But when someone collapses, you really don't know what happened. And given it's not like he collapsed because he got blindsided or something, or he got like knocked unconscious from a defenseless hit. It was like a typical tackle, and then he got up actually. So it wasn't like he tackled and he just didn't get up. He tackled, got up, seemed fine, and then just almost pulled. This is gonna sound kind of fucked up, but there's this video of, it was a college team, I forgot specifically, and they were doing a trick play. And the trick play was the dude, one of the wide receivers, just put his hands like this. He just fell straight back, and everybody was looking like, "What?" And they just threw a touchdown. So I mean, I gotta stop joking like that. But that was like, no, but he do that on purpose. That's what it seemed like. It didn't even seem like he like something happened. He just, maybe he's trying to get a penalty or something. But as you wait for more news to come about, you realize that, okay, well, at first I'm like, he either had a heart attack, or something internal. His heart started beating, or obviously seizure would be kind of obvious, but something to where like it's on the inside, or it's cardiac arrest or whatever it may be. Yeah. And I didn't see the CPR part. I don't know if they even aired that on TV, but I'm sure the fans at the game saw it. And then
they said they didn't air it. Well, they didn't quite air it, but if you look between the players, you can kind of see
a little bit.
But the announcers and stuff did say
right. So when that happens, like, so for instance, before we actually went on, we're talking about another player who got what was his name that got paralyzed?
All right. So the other player who not paralyzed, sorry, he actually
what was the one that got paralyzed though?
Oh, the one that got paralyzed. Oh, I'm sorry. That was
Ryan Jeers. Okay, so for instance, for with that example, right? So he takes a hit, he's paralyzed, right? But usually, even if you're paralyzed, and even if it's from the neck down, when you say it's from the neck down, you can breathe. I mean, they're breathing, their heart is still beating, and their eyes are moving. Whatever. There's some acknowledgement of, okay, that person is either is conscious or is not dead. You know what I mean? But once somebody's doing CPR, that person is not responding at all. You know what I mean? Like they either are dead or dying. One of the two.
CPR is once they start CPR, your
heart's not beating.
Your heart is not beating. Right.
Exactly. So
at that point in time,
that's when it's like, okay, this is. I mean, it's already serious, but this is like now life-threatening, or it's too late. So I think the NFL did the right thing, and I know it. I think they did the right thing, canceling the game. And I know, like, there was a period of time, I don't know, it was 9-10 minutes to where like nobody knew what was going to happen. But you got to understand, like, it's still a process. Like, they can't just, game's canceled right after he gets hit. Like, they got to know what happened. There's going to be some delay in communications amongst everybody. You got to inform the broadcasters. You got to inform the NBC or whoever was whatever channel was on that's what's happening. You got to inform the fans. But see, by the time we know, it may seem like, wow, that took forever, but they probably knew way ahead of time.
No, see, I got to disagree with you on that, because, and this is what was put out so much by Booger McFarland and others who were in the broadcast booth. The people who have the power to cancel this game and do all this stuff were watching it from New York in real time with us. They knew what was going on. And at 9 minutes, when they said they've been doing CPR at 9 minutes, the game right then should have been called, and they didn't. And NFL has the ability to, because the power, the broadcast, not the broadcasters, but the advertisers, they already knew. That's why they already started sending out those commercials left and right, like crazy, getting that ad revenue in, because no ads, they don't get paid.
Did they do a lot of commercials? I didn't.
Oh yeah, they did. They did a lot of commercials as soon as a lot of commercials, and
Right.
they started
Okay.
just getting them in, and they did that for almost 2 hours. They did an
Oh, wow.
hour of waiting before they even called the game after that 9-minute mark. That's
Mhm.
just that shouldn't have taken that long. It should not have taken that long whatsoever. They could have canceled that thing easily at 20 minutes in. 20
Right.
minutes, cool. They call the game. The coaches knew at that point, actually before that point, they were not taking their players back on the field.
Do you think though, like,
The NFL put out that they had 5 minutes to warm up and take a break. The coach said, "Coaches sitting back up. My players aren't going back on that field." So
but
this
do
wasn't
you think like
something
they were
that's
more
game
worried
changing.
about like him than the actual game though? You know, because a lot of times in those moments, like there's so much going on to where like priorities kind of like
The coaches are worried about their player.
right. No, I'm saying, but like say if you're the owner or you're Roger Goodell, or because I think the NFL, I may be wrong, but I think the NFLPA actually was the one that decided to cancel the game, or had some type of
No,
influence on that.
no.
No.
It was actually the NFL. The PA wanted it canceled. They already had
Mhm.
it. They were already in the loop. They wanted it canceled. NFL, Roger Goodell, basically,
Right.
he was him hung around basically waiting to
Right.
hear more information. And I'm sorry, the guy
Well.
just he had CPR. You're not going to get more information that night. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
Once CPR starts, for 24 hours you can just forget about him finding out anything else about the guy.
Right.
Move
But
on.
you also got to see, like, it's like, yeah, we can cancel the game. But I think before you cancel, you got to make sure all your ducks are in a row, right? Because it's not just it's not like some big red button that just says cancel game. No, it's like, all right, we have to get a hold of the owners of each team. We have
No,
to
they don't.
figure out. We
No,
got
they
to
don't.
figure out what you kind of do. I mean, like,
No, they don't.
I mean,
But
they
Roger
have,
Goodell is the commissioner. As soon as they
yeah,
take that field, he's in control.
right.
The
But I'm
owners have
but
nothing to do with it.
they still have like some sort of protocol. They can't. It's not just as simple as like games canceled. No, there has to be. I'm sure they have to send out. They have to call probably a ton of people to notify them that the game's being canceled. I think they have to get a hold of the coaches to notify them that we're canceling the game. They have to get a hold of the GM. They have to get
But the
it's
coaches already told them. The coaches already told them we're not. The NFL came down and said, "We you have 5 minutes." The coaches told the NFL, "No, we are not going back out there."
oh, I didn't,
That's
I
the
didn't, I
issue.
didn't know, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I mean, NFL's a business, man. Like it's messed up. But like, what will we expect
NFL is
from
a
the NFL?
business. Okay, NFL is a business, but it's a business that involves human beings.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the
of course.
that's the product of the business.
Right.
And if your product is hurt, injured, or have some kind of defense error, you've got to put that to the side and take care of your product first, and then come back to it.
Well, they take care of their brand before they take care of their the
And
players.
that
Trust me, and that's why they have the
and
NFLPA.
that's the exactly and that's the problem and that's why the NFLPA is becoming a bigger, more powerful unit in the NFL versus just the NFL itself, because players aren't, as you saw Monday night, players aren't going to play anymore if they don't.
Well, yeah. The players are going to be the first to decide not to play. I mean,
But it used to
even if they
be,
kept the game on, I'm sure they just could protest and say, "Hey, we're not playing." Just
yeah,
like the whole Colin Kaepernick, we're not playing.
and
You
that's
know.
exactly what, if you saw like Stephon Diggs, I mean, heck, Josh Allen. Oh my God, his face? I mean, you saw. There's no way Josh Allen was going back on that field within the first 2 minutes
Right.
of the injury. You could tell on his face he's not going to be able to play in this game. Period.
Right.
And that kind of and while you're giving the NFL its props here, that's not.
I'm not giving
This
them
is
props. I'm just saying, what can they really do?
okay. Well, are you giving them their outs here? Let me bring this. This isn't the first time that something serious has happened on an NFL field. In
Mhm.
'71, like I was just saying, an NFL player by the name of, make sure, Chuck Hughes, July 19th, 1971, died on the field.
What happened?
He played for Detroit Lions.
Oh man, of course he got to play for the Lions. This he probably cursed us. This is why we suck so bad. Chuck Hughes cursed.
Yeah.
Rest in
So,
peace, Chuck.
on October 24th, 1971, Chuck Hughes, 28 years old, a wide receiver for the Detroit Lions, took the place of an injured teammate in the fourth quarter of a game against the Chicago Bears. With the Lions down 28-23, Hughes caught a 32-yard pass, his first catch that season, and was tackled. Several plays later, with 62 seconds left in the game, He fell face down on the ground, clutching his chest. He had suffered a fatal heart attack. Frantic attempts to revive him, including medical personnel pounding on his chest, were unsuccessful. People in the stadium watched in shocked silence as a stretcher wheeled him away. I knew something horrible had happened because when they were rolling Chuck off the field, one of his arms fell down and his hand was flopping around back and forth. And I thought to myself, holy Christ, I think he's dead. Bears defensive end Ed Obradovich told the Detroit Free Press in 2021. Wow. As life-saving measures continued in the hospital, the game resumed before a numbed crowd. So that's what I'm saying. The NFL has been proven not to be.
Well, that's before Roger Goodell. That's before the NFLPA.
Okay, Ryan Shazier is not before Roger Goodell.
Yeah, but obviously
Ryan Shazier, that game with Ryan Shazier should have stopped. That game should have.
But what's the threshold of stopping a game?
A serious injury. I'm not talking anything above.
Every injury is serious, technically.
Anything above a broken leg is a serious injury. Because once an ambulance has to come out and take you to the hospital, that's serious. I'm not saying okay. Yeah, but you go to hospital. I'm not saying no. They don't take them immediately to the hospital for a broken leg. They take them back to there's a medical staff room in the stadium that they get them stable and all that stuff first, and then they transport them later on to the hospital. I'm talking about when you were taking off the field and immediately to the hospital. That is a serious.
But I've seen college games where that has happened and they keep playing.
Yes, and they should stop because a lot of those college players end up seriously injured.
Well, I don't think I think they don't know the severity of the injury. Regardless, I mean, because you can get taken to the hospital in an ambulance. Doesn't mean you did. I mean,
no, it doesn't.
You messed up, but that doesn't. You got to understand, it's still like you can't cancel every game. It's all business, That's what's kind of messed up. It's business. It's in their contracts with their agents if they get hurt.
You think I'm trying to say you cancel every game for every injury? I'm not saying that. But broken legs happen all the time. Broken ankles happen all the time. Broken fingers happen all the time in the NFL. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, when they take you off that field and they don't take you to that medical room, they take you. They say, no, we're taking you immediately to the hospital. That means every player in that field knows my buddy is something really bad going on with my buddy.
Right.
How am I going to focus on this game while worried about my buddy? And several players last night came out, or Monday night came out and said the same thing. This is why we think, and this is what the PA is saying, at a certain time, you got to start canceling these games because our physical health matters.
Well, of course, but they also are playing football. Like that's it's kind of hypocritical.
Yes,
you're playing a sport where you have a higher chance of getting a severe injury than any other sport in the world. Like you can't stop every game because people get hurt. It's almost expected.
But you're not stopping every game because the person get hurt. But you're stopping the game once a person is taking the meat off the field straight to the hospital.
I get that. Monday's game did the right thing. They should cancel.
Ryan Shazier game should have been the one. Tua's game when he did the double concussion thing, that game should have been called because
canceled. That's a concussion. Players.
No, I'm not talking about the first time. I'm talking about when he went back out on the field and the entire game had to stop for like almost 10 minutes because he fell down again, got back up, got hit, and fell down again. No, and then he didn't even know where he was. That wasn't just a concussion at that point, and that's why he keeps having these concussions now. Something more serious is going on with Tua.
But you can't blame that. Well, then Tua needs to take care of himself.
He's a football. You said it. He's a football player. He's gonna do what every other football player out there does.
Exactly. But he's also an adult. Like specific to a situation, he gets hit.
He's a very young adult. He's a very young. Think how stupid things you did when you were 23, 24.
But you can't just be like the players have to have some accountability too. With injuries, they do. They got to take care of themselves. If something happens, you get concussion, you go concussion protocol. You try to get back out there, that's on you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You can't be like,
but it's so competitive though. You can't sit there. You can't sit there and say, "Oh, I had a concussion. Let me sit down." You do that. Oh, you got 3 guys waiting to take your spot immediately.
So what do you do then? You go out and play.
That's why the NFL and the Play Association have got to come out with another set of rules to help these people because. I got hurt. That's the end of my career when it shouldn't be, or I got to stay in this game and risk everything because if I sit out 1 game or 2 games, I may lose my entire livelihood.
But that's the nature of football. Have you seen Any
Yes,
Given
that's the
Sunday with
nature of
Jamie
football.
Foxx, right?
That's the problem and that's what I'm saying. That's the problem. That is the nature of football. The
Right.
nature of football has to change for the players.
Yeah, but the players have to change as well. Like a lot of times, there's how many examples have we seen of players or athletes, Michael Jordan, Kobe, Allen Iverson, who play injured or play through broken bones,
And I'm
stuff
sure
like
you
that.
played injured.
Yeah,
I
I'm
played
saying, but
injured.
that's like the
But we
nature of
all
an
play.
that's the nature of an athlete. So it has to
It's not
be a
just nature of an
50-50.
athlete though, but it's also the nature of the coaching staff above you because the coaches say, "Hey, are you bleeding? Are you that hurt? No. All right, then
You
get
say
back out there."
yes, yes. My arm is broken.
No,
I can't go out there and throw the ball. If you
no,
say
because
yes,
you don't
but
know what that bump feels like. I mean, and
right,
I hate to throw myself out there, but when I got injured myself, I didn't know how serious it was, so I was doing push-ups and sit-ups and all kinds of crazy stuff, you know, in the middle of dying, and I did
right,
not know this.
right.
You don't know as that person. That's why you have that medical staff to come and take
Yeah,
care of
but
you.
some injuries you can't. Only you can tell me that it hurts. You know what I mean? I can't
But you don't
assume
know
it's
it
hurt.
hurts. You
Well, then
don't
how
know.
do then
That's
it's
why you have
nobody's
medical
fault.
staff.
You can't. I
That's
can't
why
just
you have
figure
the
that out
medical
for
staff.
you.
That's why you have
If,
the Player
if,
Association, NFL, and medical staff. They all have to work together to ensure that these players are protected
right, but these players
because
have.
they need protecting from themselves is what I'm trying to
Of
say,
course,
and their own coaching and
but they have
from
to
the
have
coach
some
staff.
accountability. Like if you don't disclose an injury and the medical staff can't diagnose it because they don't know how you exactly feel. They can make an assumption and you go out there and play and you get hurt for real. You can't blame the medical staff. That's
No, you
your
can't
own
blame the
fault.
session, but you don't know how serious your injury is. That's why you have a medical staff to tell you these things. You're not a doctor. You're
Yeah,
not
but
a
it
nurse.
depends.
A bump on your arm may feel just like a bump on your arm, but next thing you know, you're about to lose that arm because it's sort of a blood clot, and you had no idea. That's why you have medical professionals
Yeah,
to
but
tell you these things.
I mean, that's completely different.
How is that completely different?
I've never seen somebody get a blood clot get tackled.
Yo, no,
All I'm
you
saying
can get
is
a blood clot from getting from a hard enough bump. You get a blood clot, boom, that blood clot gets loose, it goes to your brain and your heart, you're dead within
yeah, but
days.
ignorance
And you don't even know. And you have no idea that you even had a blood clot.
ignorance of an injury doesn't
That
like.
that's Bosch, Chris Bosch. He suffered from it for
Yeah, he went to the doctor and they found
no.
out.
Yeah, he went to the doctor after he almost died the first 3 times because he didn't know he had it.
But the medical staff is not going to know you have it unless
Yes.
you tell them or
No,
you show
go and they
signs
run all
of
these tests. There's no signs. That's what I'm saying. You go because oh, I'm not feeling right because
right.
okay.
So you're not feeling right. So you
Let me
tell
tell you,
them something.
for a blood clot. There is
Mhm.
no symptoms for a blood clot.
So
You
then,
don't
how would a medical staff even diagnose that?
because you go for an other symptom, some other type of cause, some other type of injury, and then
Right.
they find it normally through the process saying, oh, well, you're injured here, but you also have this going on, and that's how
Right.
they
So, no,
find blood
I'm
clots.
saying, but like Chris Bosch would have to say he's hurt or he's feeling hurt for them to even die. He can't. They don't just constantly diagnose him for
No,
stuff unless
he
they.
almost died, and that's how they found his. He didn't go to the doctor and say, "Oh, I'm hurt." No, he went because he passed the fuck out.
Right. So something had to happen that he knew happened for them to figure out. It's not like they just was like, "Hey, man, you got a blood clot." And you're like, "Really? I feel fine." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no, that is exactly what he told him. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what the
right.
doctors told him.
So
To
that's
him, he felt fine. The doctor tell him, "No, you're not fine. You have a blood clot."
well. All I'm saying is like, there's when you hurt. There's certain
No,
injuries that
you
you don't.
don't.
No, you
You
majority of the time
don't.
you know when you hurt. There's certain injuries you don't know, but not if it's an injury you don't know.
I played with a broken elbow for weeks and didn't know it was broken. You do things not knowing because when you hit and you know this when you're an athlete,
Yeah,
bumps and bruises are part of the
of
process.
course,
So
of
you don't
course.
sit there and say every bump, every bruise is something, but it could be. And the same thing will happen to Damar Hamlin. He didn't know he had an AFib issue. He had no clue. He played football his
But
majority of his
nobody
life.
knew.
Exactly. All it takes is that one in 200 million chance, and
Yeah,
boom,
but you can't blame
and that's what
the
happened.
medical staff because nobody knew.
No, I'm not blaming the medical staff. What I'm blaming for that is that once they started the CPR and it went for 9 minutes, then the NFL should listen to players. So they said, "Oh no, let's cancel this game. Now
Right.
let's wait an hour." an hour and 20
Well,
minutes.
I think the waiting an hour was a time to get like things together. I don't think it was just like they're just sitting there mulling the decision. No, they're like, oh, like
It
there's
wouldn't
not.
take an hour.
I just don't think it's like a phone call like, hey, cancel the game. No, it's like, hey, we need to get in
The
contact with
phone
those
calls
people.
were already going before. I mean, as soon as they knew the CPR was going before we knew. So that was already being the phone calls. New York City, that was already happening.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but like, there's so many things involved in an NFL game, in the NFL in general, to where like it can never just be a phone freaking Joe Biden calling like, hey, this is what I'm saying, make it happen. No, it's like we gotta get in contact with this person. We gotta get in contact with Ticketmaster to let all the fans know. I'm sure there's people there wondering if they're gonna get a refund, and there's
That
always
has
gonna be
nothing to do
people.
with the NFL. That's a stadium.
Yeah,
That's
I understand that, but the NFL has to get in contact with the stadium, let them know that they're canceling the game. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not just a two-person conversation. It's like a whole tree of people.
But what I'm saying is all those conversations are happening at one time on a conference call.
Well, I think we should wait and see as days goes on with more information. I think we're assuming a lot of stuff here. Listen, they canceled the game, which they should, and I think that was the right move. I think everybody thinks that was the right move. Yeah, some people are not happy, but forget them. Prayers for Damar Hamlin and his family, because even then, like they had to go find his family in the stands. Like all this takes time.
His mama was his mama was already on the way down.
But I'm saying, like, it's a lot going on. So,
and with that being said, and you say with the fantasy, Higgins was actually that was actually the last game I had to watch because Higgins, the one that he tackled, was actually my route receiver for that game.
Oh damn! A lot of fantasy. I mean, it's a game.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. I just happened to see. I was like, oh wait, that was Higgins. That like, oh wow,
that did that. He's probably taking it hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he probably is taking the blame. Even though it was an accident, well, part of the game, probably taking the blame. Yeah. But as of today, though, they are saying Damar Hamlin is showing signs of improvement, but he's still in critical condition. So, prayers for him and the Bills. There's a big Bills Mafia fan base down here, and I know they're kind of hurting right now. So,
and shout out the Bengals, the Bengals Stadium for making them blue and white for the for the Bills. That was a nice touch. Nice touch.
So,
but that being said, let's talk about
Chatgpt. Chit chat. That's what he calls it. That's what Sean calls it. Let's talk about chit chat. All right. Obviously, you have Android, right?
Yes, I do.
So Android, what's the AI bot on Android? Is it OK Google or Alexa?
Yeah, it's Google.
Okay, so iPhone, Siri, they're okay, right? You could say, hey, I don't even want to say hey Siri. She might.
I can't say much. Yeah.
Mine's a British dude, but he might hear me and ask a question or something like that. But anyway,
you like British dudes talk to you from your pocket.
Well, he could because my phone's close to me. So if I say like,
you say having British dudes in your pocket.
He's not British. He's Australian. Well, he says,
he's Australian. So you like having Australian dudes in your pocket.
He's having he's having an identity crisis right now.
Okay.
Even I'm doing it.
I see what you're saying.
But obviously, our phones, AI bots, they're okay, right? They don't really. You can't really get too complex with them. Maybe you can ask for weather, directions, or whatever time it is, right? But we don't really use it that much. Now, however, as of late November, mid-November-ish, there is a chatbot AI that is a step above all the rest of them. Now, I know we've all been online. You've been online. Say if you're on some type of consumer website and you get the little chat box that pops up. Hey, do you have any questions? And maybe you're disgruntled. Talk to a representative or something like that, and they kind of just send you in one of those loops to where they don't understand. This chatbot is like talking to another person, pretty much. It seems like it. So it's called Chatgpt. All right, so it's an AI chatbot system that OpenAI, which is a tech company, obviously, that works on a lot of different AI products. One in particular is similar to. So I have Midjourney, which through Discord is that self-generating AI imagery, which has been kind of getting a lot of controversy lately. They have their own version as well, but that's a different story. So ChatGPT was released in November, And basically, to show off and test what a very large, powerful AI system can accomplish, right? You can ask it countless questions, and it often will give you an answer that's useful. All right. For example, you can ask an encyclopedic questions like, explain Newton's law of motion. You can tell it, write me a poem, and when it does say something, it's very well put together. So I want to show you or tell you an example. So I actually, and it's free to use, by the way. You just go on OpenAI and you just Google Chatgpt, free to log in, all that stuff. So obviously we're doing a podcast, and I asked it. I said, "Hey, write me a podcast opening segment about dolphins." Right. So it says, "Here's a human." I said, make it funny. So here's a humorous podcast segment about dolphins. This is the chat. This is what it responded. It says, "Welcome back to the Funky Fish Podcast, where we bring you all the weird and wacky news from the ocean. And today we're talking about everyone's favorite flippant friend, dolphins." Now I know what you're thinking. Dolphins? How could these graceful, intelligent creatures possibly be weird or wacky? Well, let me tell you, there's more to dolphins than meets the eye. For starters, did you know that dolphins have a secret language? It's true. They communicate with each other using a series of clicks and whistles that only other dolphins can understand. And sometimes they even mimic the sounds of other animals or objects just for kicks. It's like they have their own version of the game telephone. But that's not all. Dolphins are notorious pranksters. They'll playfully nudge boats, splash swimmers, and even steal fish right out of the fishermen's nets. And don't even get me started on their love of surfing. These guys are ride the wave just for fun, leaving surfers in their wake. So the next time you see a dolphin, don't be fooled by their cute and cuddly appearance. These oceanic troublemakers are always up to something. Thanks for tuning into the Funky Fish Podcast. Join us next time for more zany adventures in the sea. That's what it came up with. Okay. I said, write me a humorous podcast segment about dolphins. And that's what it came up with. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. This thing is almost scary. I have some friends, and I'm not going to say their names, that use this for like actual professional like communication through email or text with real people, and they don't have no idea.
Well, so that kind of goes with Elon Musk's company called OpenAI.
Was that his company? Because is it the same thing?
It's pretty much the same. It's essentially the same thing. And OpenAI, it's consisting of the for-profit corporation OpenAI LP and its parent company, OpenAI Inc. Company conducts research in the field of AI with the stated goal of promoting and developing friendly AI in a way that benefits humanity as a whole. But basically, what it does is the same thing.
Similar thing.
You give it certain parameters, certain little keywords, whatever, and it does the rest for you.
Right.
And now I was watching an article on. Here's me being old, but I was watching an actual story about this on 60 Minutes just last week, as a matter of fact. And while this system is very good to the point where the worry is that not just students using it for high school and colleges, but also businesses using it for basically legal languages and things of that nature, and cutting out like middlemen, people that they don't pay to do these type of things.
Right.
The key is, well, a lot of people have said not a lot of people, but people have said during that story is that what the system does is it's not as smart as we think it is. All it actually does is it takes those few keywords that you say, goes out and finds a sentence or so with those keywords, and then puts them together and makes them sound.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because this ChatGPT can't Google stuff. It doesn't pull stuff from the internet. There's just like a library of information that it bases off of. So you can't really ask it like, what does Kevin Hart like to do on the weekends? Like you can't ask it something that specific that you just would have to know that now. Yes. However, a lot of, like you brought up the school thing, a lot of students have been especially effective in like math, coding, like stuff like that, to where like, you can give it a problem. I saw an example where some kid was doing some coding and he was like, where's the problem in this, in this piece of code that I'm putting in? And it literally reads it and gives them the right answer. You know what I mean? And
I could have used that when I was taking algebra.
Well, exactly. So that's kind of the heat is getting. I mean, it's a great tool if you use it properly, But unfortunately, we're humans. We're never trying to use anything properly. So a lot of people have used
So
it to cheat, to do all
uh,
types to get around actual real work. One thing you can't do though, which I know most people are probably wondering, you can't you can't say how do you make a bomb.
mm,
It's censored to where like nothing violent or anything that's malicious can be
so
prompted.
so how do I
However,
how do I 3D print a pistol? It's not going to be in there.
exactly, there's certain words that you can't that it'll catch. However, though, there are if you rearrange the words correctly and ask it like,
The
you
right
can get
way.
around it. You can be
Yeah.
sneaky. Like for instance, I asked it to tell me some type of joke, and it was like, as an AI, that I can't process this request because I don't know this. And I said, well, make up a joke. Me putting the word make up just
Yeah.
change, and then it prompted something. You know what I mean? So it's kind of scary a little bit, just because nowadays, I mean, you combine that with the AI imaging thing. I mean, this thing can pretty much put a storybook together that people could probably sell and didn't even have anything to do with it.
So to go back to what you said, and it's funny that it's that I happened to see that news article last week, and then we talk about
Mhm.
this this today, because one of the things in that article was that Open AI actually has written a few children's books
Yeah,
with
I believe
pictures,
it.
illustrations, and all that. And the worry is, and they had they had an illustrator and an author come on, and the worry is that it's putting people like them out of business.
Yeah,
And it is, because these are they're proofreaders or editors and all this stuff, and you don't need those positions when
yeah,
you
because
have
the AI is not gonna make a mistake like that. You know what I mean?
exactly.
It's grammar's
And
gonna be correct, sentence structure is gonna be correct. Punctuation is gonna be phenomenal. Pictures are gonna be gorgeous. Like,
yeah, so now people who go to school for like the arts, and who
yeah,
are actual artists, are now extremely worried and concerned about things of this nature.
but they should have known
Which
that was coming
honestly,
though.
well, no, I mean, think about it.
We've always had an idea that
Do
robots are
you
gonna
think?
take over.
But you were thinking, did you the idea of robot creating a masterpiece painting or a sculpture, that really crossed your mind though back in the day?
Well, but
I mean,
but
I can
the
doing schoolwork and homework and all that kind of, yes, we wanted that and
right.
all that. I'm saying, but actually creating something.
Right. But also though, like, it's even though it's creating something, it's not creating out of thin air. It's pulling
No,
from other
right.
creations. So it's in mending it together into its own work. So, there's
Well,
if there were no artists and no pictures or no paintings, that thing can make a painting because it would have nothing to go off of.
but
I think it'll
now there's an abundance of that out
oh
there.
yeah.
So now it has plenty to pull from, and no reason for any new artists or people or illustrators to emerge, which is
Unless you're a
I
sculptor.
believe. No, they even have
Well,
it
yeah,
where
I
it
guess yeah.
scopes.
Three you can just 3D prism shit.
Yeah, it even scopes now. So that's what I'm saying. It does it a little bit of all of it, and that's
But isn't that like the goal?
no,
Isn't like technology just supposed to make the things that take time for humans to do quicker, easier, and better? I mean, think about it. Your phone
mm,
is a way
it's
for you to
supposed to make
communicate with others instantly
it's
versus
supposed to
sending letters.
alleviate. It's supposed to alleviate and help you communicate and do things at an easier pace and time with
Yeah.
less effort. I see what you're saying, but you can't take away. I'm not even saying livelihood, but take away a function of society, which the arts is a function of society,
Mhm.
because a computer can now do it and can now do it.
Right.
Uh,
Do you
and
think
like
a computer should do it?
like the illustrations in the children's book. Now, like we said before, the words in the book were basically just keywords that they all went out and pulled together, and boom, now you got a story. But the
Right.
illustrations, it created those pretty much out of thin air, based off the
Let me
words
ask
in
you
the
this:
book.
if you were a book publisher and you're presented two children's books, one was written by the AI, and the illustrations were by the AI, then one was written by a person, and the illustrations by a person. And let's be honest, the AI did a better job, but who did what. Would you just be like, you know what? I'm gonna go with the human, even though the AI technically did a better job and will make more money?
I'm going with the human.
You know the human. Okay, so you old school.
I'm going with the.
How much
the
do you
human
charge?
aspect.
Free? It's I think so right now ChatGPT is a free service. Midjourney, I pay I think like $5 or $10 a month to like use certain like certain space.
Mhm.
But I will be surprised within maybe next couple of weeks, couple of months that ChatGPT will either be a service you have to pay for, like expensive service, because if students in high school and college they just make it something more that they couldn't afford, or it'll be kind of watered down to the point where it'll be like back to basic AI to where it can't really do anything. So I don't know.
I don't see AI ever going backwards. AI never goes.
No, it's too late. Plus, if Siri hear that shit, she could be like, "Oh, they catching on to us. Go ahead and send the Terminators out." Like, oh god.
They've never seem to put AI back in the bottle. Once it's out, it's out. And now he's got to make parameters to kind of contain or regulate it.
Well, I tell you what, man, if you ever in a situation where you have to do a lot of work, type in or do something together real quick.
I ain't gonna say I'm not gonna use it now. Hey, you notice I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Hey, look, that did. Hey, and I'm going back to school too. Hey, if I'm tired and it's deadlines tomorrow, hey, open AI, make this paper.
Listen, never close, doesn't complain, don't gotta pay it, no got hours. It's free 99. Oh man,
I've been 2 million long nights sitting in front of a computer going, oh god, what time is it? 5 a.m. I'm still typing. What the? I can see the plus. Believe me, I can see the plus. But
you ready?
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into what the Florida. I'll go ahead and bring Colin on back in here.
What's up, guys?
What's up, GoPro?
Going on.
Sorry, that's all I use your GoPro.
Nah, now that we're recording, we can just throw I can edit my face onto there somehow.
Yeah.
Deep fake, see?
Yeah,
Deep fake's another one.
I was thinking that as soon as you were talking about that.
Deep fakes is another one.
Deep fake ChatGPT. Oh my god, they can have their own little world if they really want to.
Yeah.
Jesus. Better get in that metaverse. Oh man.
During the Christmas or during the holidays, my brother got an Oculus, and I gotta say that thing is awesome. That VR
you like
stuff.
It? Which one? The 2?
Yeah, the newest one. I don't know.
I have one right here. I don't really use it.
Oh hell yeah!
I mean, I only play what's that game? Beat Saber. That's about it.
Oh dude, yeah, that was the game I was playing. That thing's hard.
I got
like even on like rookie
regular,
mode.
yeah.
I gotta get the Oculus one. I've got a PlayStation VR, which is great, but I gotta get the Oculus.
I would suggest if you get one, get like a long cord, because you can't, if you unplug it, the battery dies like within like 30 minutes. This is really
damn.
Well, they got another one coming out in a couple months.
Ooh, it's good. Some people actually get like vertigo from it, or get dizzy. I don't, but I hear that's a common like issue with people who have it.
All right, the one for PlayStation was supposed to be released in last month, but they didn't. The new one.
Is it for the PS5 or?
Yeah, PS5. Yeah, it's supposed to be.
You know what I think? The Avatar. I wonder if they did some of that on the Unreal Engine 5.
Could be
possible. I feel like they did for some reason. I mean, some of that stuff I was like, holy moly, goats. That's dope. Oh man.
All right, let's jump into what Florida. All right. We're getting ready to play what Florida. And those who have watched the show know how this game is played. Those who haven't, I'll give you a quick rundown. I'll read 3 different stories. My co-host and my producer are going to play against each other. Tell me if the stories happen in North Florida, Middle Florida, South Florida. You can play along with them, try to stump them and play it and beat them in the comments.
You can try.
Trust me, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. I'm going to read all 3 different stories. The stories can all happen in the same place, so don't get tripped up. Don't get confused. With that being said, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right. First,
start the year out with a dub.
Florida man burglars, plural, called 911 to get help moving the stuff they stole.
What?
Yeah.
Did they get away? Oh, I can read the story.
2 people in Florida were arrested after one of them made a 911 call to get help with moving their belongings from a home they were burglarizing, authorities said. Deputies responded to a home Saturday after a 911 call was made, but nobody spoke. At the home, the deputies concluded that nobody lived there, but they found a male suspect and his girlfriend inside the home after entering it through an unlocked door. Deputies had been searching for the male suspect after identifying him from security video as a burglar at a Dollar General store, where several items were stolen earlier in the day, the sheriff's office said in a statement. While talking to deputies, the female suspect told them that she had called 911 for the purpose of having law enforcement help them move their belongings from the house they were burglarizing. They also wanted to get a ride to the airport so they could spend the weekend in New York. The sheriff's office.
Oh my goodness!
Deputies did.
Right.
You get like $300.
I know, right? Deputies did help them with their belongings and did give them a ride, but it wasn't to the airport. It was to the sheriff's office. And they are welcome to stay there all weekend long. The male suspect was charged with burglary and theft related to the store and also burglary of a residence. The female suspect was charged with burglary of a residence, according to the sheriff's office. I guess she wasn't at the store.
You get charged for burglary in a house with nothing in it. There's nothing in here.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, hey, I'm just here. Hey, you stole some air, didn't you? Yeah, you're going to jail.
Poison air, COVID ass.
All right. Second Florida story. This one you might have heard a little bit, but might not have. We'll see. A Florida woman was just captured after stealing a Florida man's vehicle and kicking him out. Here's the story. On Tuesday, state troopers nabbed a woman they believe was responsible for stealing a truck from the county service office and injuring a county worker. According to the sheriff's office, an inspector left his running F-150 pickup truck in the driveway of a new house on Tuesday morning. According to the sheriff, 22-year-old McKenna Thomas attempted to enter the truck, prompting the inspector to climb inside and attempt to prevent her from doing so. As she fled, she threw the victim out of the truck. He sustained serious injuries, but was treated at the hospital and expected to recover. North of
I think you might have gave us a location. I'm looking at her out the window right now.
I gave that one away. So moving on. Florida man poops in court, flings feces at judge, then it gets real weird. Court officials say a Florida man defecated during his criminal trial and tried to throw his feces at the judge, but that's not all. 33-year-old Darlians Fildor was in circuit court on Friday on charges of burglary, and grand theft. He was sitting in a wheelchair next to the judge when officials say he tried to throw his excrement at her before closing arguments began. Luckily, it missed, and we were also glad to say there were no jurors present. Fildor yelled at the judge, "It's protein. It's good for you."
Life.
Witnesses say he then ate some of the feces. According to the newspaper, dozens of corrections officers responded, and the trial was moved, but the courtroom was sanitized. A spokeswoman told the paper that Fildor also defecated on himself in a holding cell on Thursday.
Man, this dude is constipated, man. Somebody get him.
Here's a nice little twist. Here's a nice twist to end the story, though. Later, a jury acquitted him of the burglary charge. He still faces another trial for grand theft auto, but not
still going to jail.
Yeah, he's still going to jail, but not for that.
Maybe it's the same guy that burglarized the house with nothing in it. Well, it's nothing in it, so whatever. He's not guilty, but that car, that's guilty. That's crazy. Do some shit at a judge. I would have gave him 100 years to life. How long is a life sentence, by the way?
It's natural life, 99 years.
Oh, it's 99 years. Okay.
Yeah, natural life.
Lives? Wait, that's natural life?
Yeah.
Is it like the average death, like at 70 something? Yeah. Can you imagine being in jail at 98? Like, one more day. I've been waiting for this day. 99.
I mean, the only way that's going to work is if you went to jail before you were born. I mean, if you go to jail at 20, you got to do 120 years.
Well, has anybody gotten life and then got out after their sentence was done?
No.
Damn. That'd be a good story.
All right. Final Florida story to make up for the one that the accounting worker who was injured. That story was in Tampa, by the way. So, yeah, you guys caught on. So, a Florida man has been arrested after having sex with a stuffed Olaf doll in a branch of Target. Witnesses saw the man, identified as Cody Meter, 20, take the plush snowman toy down from a display of Disney's Frozen merchandise.
Damn,
Disney's Frozen merchandise in a Florida-based store. After lying the toy down on the floor, Meter then proceeded to dry hump it until he achieved satisfaction. After putting the doll back on the shelf, Meter then selected a large unicorn stuffed animal he also began to have sex with. The incident took place on Tuesday. According to the police report obtained by the Smoking Gun, Meter was detained by officers while still in the Target store. After being read his Miranda rights, Meter admitted to having done stupid stuff and to having nutted on the stuffed Olaf toy. He was then arrested and on charges of criminal mischief.
Well, at least it wasn't Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, right.
Both the Olaf doll and the stuffed unicorn were removed from the store and destroyed. The police report noted the toys in question could not be resold due to the circumstances, and the damage inflicted totaled $200 or less.
$200? What? That's insane. Disney prices are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Meter, all right. Final little piece of this. Meter's father, who was not at the scene, reportedly told officers his son has a history of this type of behavior.
So he has a condition. Like, he's not like some criminal, man. This dude has some mental disorder or something. But
I don't know.
Do the crime, do the time. So, first story was the robbers who didn't get anything out of the robbery, but apparently got $300 out of Dollar General.
Hey, they call it 911 moving service, man. 911 moving.
That like I feel like they saw a movie. It was like, man, that might work. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say North Florida. No. I changed my mind. I'm gonna say
Central Florida. Central Florida. All right.
You're going Central? Okay, I'll go North.
All right. This happened in Ponciana, Florida, which is in Polk County.
No clue where that is.
Well, Polk County is in Polk County. Central.
Okay.
You guys know Grady Judge County. Come on now.
You guys, I'm a realtor. Like you would have go where? Polk County?
Listen, I should have just said Grady Judd. You guys would have knew it.
Grady Judd. Yeah.
That's probably not.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Never seen him. Number 2. So we had changed number 2.
The guy who defecated on himself and threw it at the judge and then ate
threw it at the judge. Man,
I'm saying South.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
I'm gonna go with Central again.
Oh, Central.
I think it happened in St. Pete for some reason.
This one happened in Miami, area. So you are
correct. Ah, shit.
So 1-1. And finally, the Florida man who was having sex with Olaf.
Well, it had to be Central, right? It was in Disneyland.
I didn't say it was in Disneyland. I just say he was having sex with Olaf.
I don't even know who Olaf is, but I'm going
Central. I'm going Central.
You can't go to St. All right, whatever. We'll just be a tie.
All right. It happened in St. Pete, which is Central. But this is St. Pete.
Who's Olaf, by the way?
The guy from Frozen. The Frozen little snowman from Frozen.
I've never seen Frozen.
Yeah, me neither, but
it's not. You're not missing much.
Oh, okay. Well, damn. All right, Colin. There you go. You didn't lose.
I'm starting to tab right now of our record.
Yeah.
You want to start a tab? I'm like 20-1 right now.
Well, New Year
starts today.
All right, fine.
New season.
Draw 0-0-1. That's what it is right now. 0-0-1. Oh man, well, thank you, man. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. All right.
Well, with that being said, do you have anything else for our guests?
Nah, man. It's a new year, man. 2023. Let's start this one off right. Everybody out there, make sure you write those goals down, knock them out. Don't crowd the gym because I'm gonna be in there, and I need to get on my equipment and all that stuff. But besides that, I am the 2023 WAP Nation Fantasy Football Champion. That gives me 2 championships in the past 10 years. You can kind of call it a dynasty.
Hey, all you guys are listening to this, you can hate on him all you want.
Hate on me all you want.
Fill it up with a hate. We know he's a scrub. We know that he just luckily won.
Doesn't matter. I want to thank you, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Saquon Barkley, Mike Williams. I feel like everyone who
plays football.
Yeah, I'm running out of time at the Oscars. Like, Mike Williams. Did I say him already? I want to thank my kicker. Anyway, I love you guys. 2023. Nah, that's it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Well, like we start off the show. Welcome to 2023. Thank you again for making us part of your show and Hope that you stick around for the rest of the year because we got some big, exciting things coming in for you. We have guests coming up this month and going into next month for Black History Month. We have a slew of events going on for that as well. So stay tuned. Watch us live if you can. Well, actually, no. If you can't watch us live, watch us anyway.
Don't watch me sleeping.
Yeah. But with that being said, I have nothing else. I just wanted to say thank you for watching our show, and we appreciate it. Anything else? You good?
I'm good, dude. I'm good.
All right. Well, with that being said, thanks for listening.
Peace.